And now joining me on WION Newsroom, Adya, who will give us all the insights in the world of business, Nikita giving us all the buzz from the tech world, and Atara Sasidaran, who will get us all the updates from the world of sports. And we begin by going over to Adya for some market updates.
Well, thank you, Jyotsna. A turbulent session for global markets has kicked off a fresh wave of risk aversion from Asia to Wall Street. Now, Asian stocks extended a global sell-off after US jobs data re-delivered no clear signal on where rates will go next. Now, Wall Street slumped sharply with the Nasdaq seeing its widest swing since April. Now, investors are questioning whether Nvidia's robust earnings can keep tech valuation afloat. The US added far more jobs than expected in September, but rising unemployment and downward revisions clouded the Fed outlook. With the next payroll report due after the Fed meeting, markets remain unconvinced. Now, across Asia, India, Japan, South Korea and Taiwan, Hong Kong as well, all posted steep losses. And while markets are shaky, one pocket of Wall Street is having a blockbuster year. Now, insurance firms have delivered the strongest US IPO pipeline in nearly 20 years. Investors are flocking to sectors shielded from Trump-era tariff shocks. Now, Apollo-backed Aspen Insurance and American Integrity led the way, while newer listings added the fresh momentum. Now, D-Logic data shows insurance IPO volumes at their highest since 2005, with about $2.6 billion raised this year. Now, bankers say more insurers are ready to list, though SEC delays from the recent government shutdown that may be pushed the next wave into 2026. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is reversing course on tariffs that have driven up grocery bills. President Trump has rolled back the 40% tariff on Brazilian food products that were imposed in the month of July. The reversal follows rising voter frustration with food inflation. Now, US retail coffee prices have jumped as much as 40% this year, partially due to the tariffs. Brazil supplies a third of America's coffee and is now a key beef source, especially for burger meat. Now, importers expect thousands of delayed shipments stuck in bonded warehouses to move immediately. And finally, in Asia, new trade numbers show Japan finding support beyond the US market. Japan's exports rose 3.7% in October, even as sales to the US fell for a seventh straight month. Exports to China grew 2.1%, shipments to Hong Kong surged 19.2%, and sales to Taiwan jumped 17.7%, giving Tokyo crucial resilience. With our exports outpacing imports, Japan narrowed its trade deficit by nearly half of last year's level. This offers some relief amid currency volatility and a pending economic stimulus plan. Well, that's a wrap from the world of business. Now for all the tech updates, it's over to you, Nikita.
Well, thanks so much, Adya. First up, Jeff Bezos' space company Blue Origin has announced a more powerful variant of its New Glenn rocket called New Glenn 9x4, featuring 9 engines on the first stage and 4 on the second. Now, the Super Heavy rocket marks Blue Origin's push to build a full family of launchers, similar to SpaceX's Falcon fleet. Though Blue Origin has not revealed a timeline for the Super Heavy rocket's first launch, it has said that both the rockets' variants will operate side by side. The company said both rockets will cater to a broad range of missions, from mega constellation satellites to lunar and deep space exploration. Next up, US telecom giant Verizon has announced its biggest ever layoff, cutting more than 13,000 jobs as part of a major cost reduction and restructuring push. Now, the company says over 80% of impacted staff will exit next month, with Verizon taking a $1.6 billion to $1.8 billion severance hit in Q4. Verizon will also convert 179 company-owned stores into franchises and shut one outlet. Now, in a note to employees, new CEO Dan Schulman has said that Verizon must simplify operations and reduce friction that slows the company down, calling the cuts necessary to reset and realign priorities. And lastly, Samsung Electronics has named its mobile chief Tim Rowe as the new co-CEO and head of its device experience division, which oversees the company's mobile phone, TV and home appliance businesses. Now, the appointment returns Samsung to its traditional co-CEO structure, which divides oversight of its chip and consumer divisions after the company had been operating under a sole CEO setup following the sudden death of co-CEO Han Jong-hee in March. TM Rowe has been serving as acting head of the consumer business since April. Well, that's it from the world of tech. Now, my colleague Atra would be taking you through some sports updates across the globe. Over to you, Atra.
Thank you so much, Nikita. Now let's look at the top sports stories we're tracking for you at this hour. We'll begin with cricket first, where India's Test captain Shubman Gill has been ruled out of the second Test in Guwahati against South Africa. Rishabh Pant will lead India in Gill's absence. Gill suffered a neck injury on the second day while battling the first Test in Kolkata and was hospitalized in the city subsequently. Gill had travelled to Guwahati on November 19th after spending time under observation in a hospital. The second Test will begin tomorrow, that is the November 21st. The hosts trailed the series 1-0 after a 30-run defeat in the Kolkata Test. Staying with cricket, Mitchell Starc registered his best bowling figures in Test cricket on day one of the Ashes Test in Perth. Starc finished with 7 for 58 in 12.5 overs in the first innings as England were dismissed for 172 runs in 32.5 overs. It is Starc's 12th 5-wicket haul in Test cricket. He now has 104 Test wickets against England. Of the 7 wickets that Starc grabbed in the first innings, one was of England skipper Ben Stokes. Starc now has dismissed Stokes 10 times in Test. The left-arm pacer is the 14th Australian bowler to pick more than 100 wickets against England. Over in boxing now, Indian boxers clinched 9 gold medals on the final day of the World Boxing Cup Finals 2025 in front of the home crowd on Thursday. Meenakshi, Preeti, Arundhati Chaudhary and Nupur secured a gold each in the afternoon session. Nikhil, Zareen, Jasmine and Praveen all climbed to the top of the podium in the evening session. Indian men added 2 more golds to cap off a dominant home campaign. Apart from the 9 gold medals, India added 6 silver medals and 5 bronze medals. Over to Formula One now. Toto Wolff has sold 15% of his stake in Mercedes Formula One team to American billionaire George Cruz. However, the 53-year-old will retain his role as team principal and the CEO of the Formula One team. Wolff's holding company owns 1% of Mercedes Formula One, so the shareholding he is selling equates to 5% of the team. As per the media reports, the deal is valued at a record $6 billion. Well, with that, we have come to the end of the sports segment. It's back to you, Jyotsna.
Thank you so much, Tara. Thank you so much, Adya and Nikita, for getting us all the updates from sports, business and tech. Well, with that, we call it a wrap to this bulletin, but don't go anywhere. News and updates will follow on the other side. You're watching WION World. It's mine. Stay tuned.